All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the New York Giants, and all of these misconceptions are still blowing my mind with this Giants team. Listen, here's the deal. The Giants' future is extremely bright. They had a great season last year. They're going to have another good season this season, but regardless, the Giants' future is set. I was just reading an article on The Athletic, and they were comparing the Giants' luck and roster to the Vikings of last season. I don't know why people are thinking Daniel Jones is like 36. Daniel Jones is 26. Oh, Saquon's getting older. Saquon's 26. Their star offensive lineman's getting older. Andrew Thomas is 24. Dexter Lawrence, he's getting old, right? No, he's 25. This is an extremely young team. Of course, they dealt with some issues last season. Brian Daboll coming on over, gives Daniel Jones the keys, cooks some things up in the kitchen, and what happens? Well, they win 9 football games. They make the playoffs. The Giants are going to carry that momentum into the season. Now, I will say, I understand some NFL media and NFL fans' skepticism with the Giants. My only skepticism with this Giants team is going to be the offensive line. Now, if their offensive line can stay healthy, well, things are going to be looking good. Now, last season, New York's offensive line allowed the 5th highest pressure rate in 2022 with a 31.6 percentage. Here's the good news. Andrew Thomas is a superstar. Andrew Thomas is an all-pro left tackle. What's the most important position on the offensive line? It's going to be your left tackle, right? We want to protect Daniel Jones' blind side. John Michael Schmitz comes on in as the best center in the NFL draft. Ask somebody who covered the NFL draft. Ask them who's the best center. All of them will tell you John Michael Schmitz. Evan Neal, I know he had a brutal rookie season, but he's a first-round player. He played left tackle in college, played right tackle in his first season in the National Football League. He was picked number 7 in the 2022 NFL draft for a very clear reason. So I just want to say, if they stay healthy, you're going to see huge improvements from guys like Evan Neal. Mark Lewinsky, he's a fine starter. Their offensive line is fine when they're healthy, as long as we continue to see Evan Neal, be the Evan Neal that he was, drafted for. And John Michael Schmitz is, the John Michael Schmitz we thought when he got drafted. And Andrew Thomas continues to ascend. We'll deal with those guard positions as they arise. But this offensive line, there's a lot there, all right? There's a lot there. So before we get any further into today's video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. I do post a bunch of Giants videos every single week. So Giants fans, if we could get this video to 500 likes before the start of the NFL season, that would mean the world to me. Here's the bottom line. We're going to see a much better offense than we did last season. And here's the thing. The Giants had a good offense last year. With the limited options that they had at the wide receiver position due to injuries or just lack of depth, mainly injuries, the running back position, Saquon Barkley was not fully healthy last season. The offensive line, all things considered, the Giants offensively last season did more than expected. So all these power ranking articles, all these win-loss projections, I'm seeing the Giants 23, 22nd power rankings. I'm seeing win-loss projections with 7, with 8, whatever it is. I just simply don't buy it. Here's the thing with Daniel Jones. He's a good player. Like, he moves extremely well. A lot of people are not familiar with how many yards Daniel Jones rushed for last season. He rushed for 708 yards and 7 touchdowns as a freaking quarterback. So he moves really well. He does not make a lot of mistakes. He did not make a lot of mistakes last season. Even before Daboll came in, he wasn't throwing a ton of interceptions. Just 5 interceptions this past season. That wins you football games. That wins you playoff games. But he also can just make the throws. He moves well, but he makes the throws. 67.2% completion percentage. And once again, I just feel like there's this misconception that Daniel Jones is like Ryan Tannehill and he's 34, 35 years old and that we've seen the end of his career and he's past his prime and this is the Daniel Jones we're going to get for the rest of his career. He's 26 years old. He was selected number 6 in the 2019 NFL draft. He's coming off a career year with Brian Daboll coming on in. I don't know why Daniel Jones is getting worse. I'm under the assumption Daniel Jones is going to improve. Now, Darren Waller is a huge addition. Not only Does Darren Waller, Daniel Bellinger allows you, versatility, creativity, flexibility at the position, but Darren Waller himself poses huge matchup problems just as like the player Darren Waller is. I mean, this is, 2 years ago, 3 years, 2, 3 years ago, Darren Waller was just an unarguable top 5 tight end in the National Football League. Another misconception with Darren Waller is he's, 34 years old, past his prime. Now, he has dealt with injuries in the past 2 seasons, but Darren Waller is 30 years old. He's 6'6", 255 pounds. The guy is an animal. The last time we saw Darren Waller play a fully healthy season, it was just 3 years ago in 2020, and he had 107 catches for 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns. So, yeah, having Bellinger, having Waller, you're not going to be able to stack the box anymore like you used to against the New York Giants to just prevent the run. Now there's weapons to Daniel Jones' disposal. You have extra pass protection, having those 2 tight ends out there. I can throw them on opposite sides. I can throw them on the same side. I can do a bunch of things with 2 tight ends. But Darren Waller physically is a huge matchup issue. So we're going to just see what we saw last season, but we're going to see expansions of the concepts from last year. And if you watched the Giants last year, this is something we harp on all the time on this channel because Giants fans are watching Giants football games. The NFL is not watching Giants games. If they do what they did last season, simply put, with the new additions coming on in with your center, Jalen Hyatt, the speedster, a healthy Saquon Barkley, you've just got a healthy wide receiver room. You've got Isaiah Hodgins coming off an incredible second half season since he got acquired by the Giants. You've got Wan'Dale Robinson, who was drafted in last year's second round. He's a big time playmaker. There's weapons all across the offense. If your offensive line is healthy, they will be perfectly fine. Your offensive line will be perfectly fine if you're healthy. Well, what's the concerns with the Giants offense? So one thing I also read with the New York Giants was this. There was another athletic article going through power rankings, and they were doing like best case scenarios for every team. Here's the final sentence for the Giants' best case scenario. The talent on defense is not enough for the Giants to be good per se, but defensive coordinator Wink Martindale is able to cook up enough special game plan to keep offenses on their toes while the acquisition of Isaiah Simmons turns out to be a perfect match. First off, Isaiah Simmons is a perfect match. Not enough talent per se on the defense. Unreal. The Giants defense last season was middle of the pack. This defense is unbelievably young. We talked about him in our last video. Azeez Ojulari had 5.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles in 7 games that he played last season. They're studs on this. We saw Kayvon Thibodeau at the end of his rookie season come alive. They still have Dexter Lawrence. Some concerns coming on the secondary. Personally, I think cornerbacks are a little bit overrated. Trey Hawkins III, the rookie, Deonte Banks, the rookie, it's exactly the blueprint in the NFL right now. Young, fast. Deonte Banks and Trey Hawkins are fast. Keep them young, keep them cheap. That's exactly what they have with this very young secondary. Xavier McKinney. If we saw Xavier McKinney play the whole last year, the hype would be a lot higher with him. I'm personally very hyped for Xavier McKinney. He's been in the league for 2 seasons. 2020 second round draft pick, was borderline first round pick coming out of Alabama. He only played 9 games this past season. But the last time we saw him fully healthy in 2021, in his second season in the National Football League, he had 5 interceptions. So I am not concerned with the Giants defense. And we explained why I'm not concerned with the Giants offense in today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're just waiting for the season. This is probably going to be the last Giants video until the first game is over against Dallas. So hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. And give me a score prediction for that Cowboys-Giants Week 1 Sunday Night Football matchup. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.